Have a look at how beautiful both these paintings have dried up. Now, this is the first one with my way too big palette knife. The pattern does cover the entire surface, but if you look at the beautiful paint, how it's dried, metallics look amazing. The Atelier pouring medium is definitely thinner than the Liquitex pouring medium. It does take longer to dry, but when it does dry, it makes the metallics dry up absolutely incredible. I'm really surprised at how beautiful this copper has come through. Look how it's come through the lacing, and look how incredibly metallic and shiny and beautiful the surface is. This is just the dried painting. There's no varnish on top, and I'm so surprised at how much the metallic copper is shining without any varnish. Absolutely fantastic. I'm loving both of them, but I do want to add just a little bit something to them. So what am I going to add? Well, I do live in Napier, and Napier is the Art Deco capital of New Zealand. So I've pulled out this fabulous looking Art Deco stencil. Can't remember where I got it from, probably online, probably on Amazon. And I'm going to add these shapes to the canvas using some deco foil. So I have some tacky when dry gel medium, and you put this on through the stencil. It's white when you put it on, it dries perfectly clear. And once it's completely clear, you have to let it dry entirely, then put the deco foil on. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. I'm pretty excited. It's going to look amazing. Now the decision is how many of the shapes shall I put on. I don't want to cover the whole background because I really love the pattern. This is my first ever lacing of my first ever swipe. So I'm quite proud of it. It's very beautiful. Which part shall we put on? I'm loving these shapes. I think I'm going to do it in a diagonal. Maybe some of those and some of those. I think I'll get some blue tack tape and cover out the bits I actually don't want on the canvas. Right, so now I've decided the areas that I want my deco foil to be. Putting it on some low tack tape to mask off those edges so I don't get it covered in the medium. Got my tacky when dry, yay. Just a matter now of putting it through the stencil and then waiting for it to dry. That is the really important part. It has to be completely clear when it's dry. Then you put the deco foil on. What I like about the tacky when dry is that you can use it really easy with stencils. It's just like using any other medium. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just like that, simple as. Now, you do have to wash your stencil when you've used this product, otherwise it's going to be sticky forever. I don't usually wash my stencils, but I definitely do if I'm going to use a medium like this. Otherwise, it will be sticky next time I go to use it. Ta-da, ta-da! That's what it's going to look like once we put the beautiful deco foil on. Am I going to use copper or bronze? Not sure, still thinking about it, but I definitely have 2 hours to decide. So I love the way this color gold is coming down here and the beautiful textured marks flowing in there. It's gonna look fabulous. So what am I gonna do with the next one? Now, I was playing around with this one a fair bit. I was pushing the paint around, adding some extra bits, exploring the tilting movement of the paint, and I was experimenting with the lacing. I was a little excited about creating it. So it had a bit of a chaotic composition, but I really don't mind it this way. I like the way this little action here developed from pushing it with my air blower. That was fun, and I absolutely love the colors here in the lacing. I think they're beautiful. This combination of the copper underneath has really dried up better than I expected, but I do want to add a little something to give it a focal point. So I've pulled out this beautiful looking feather, and I'm going to add this onto the canvas. I'm going to put the tip of the feather right into here. I think that's going to look perfect, and then tip it so that it touches this side here, and then it goes up through the middle, and I think that's going to add a really beautiful, significant focal point for the Glorious painting. The texture and pattern really is very beautiful. So what color are we going to go with? I'm thinking a pale kind of bronze, and I've got this really beautiful Lumiere color. I absolutely love it, metallic bronze, but the Lumiere paint is a little too fluid to put through the stencil, so I'm going to mix this with some of the heavy gel gloss, make a stiffer paint, and put that on the stencil, and baby, she's gonna be beautiful. Right, so we'll put that aside, pull out a plate, get some of the gel medium, and let's get it moving. If I had this color in a heavy body paint, I would just use it, but I don't. So we have to mix it with the heavy gel gloss. Won't take too long, just give it a bit of a mix up. And now it's the beautiful paint color that I want. Lumiere has a fantastic metallic shine to it. It's a beautiful paint. Right, that's looking beautiful. Get my stencil back in action. Maybe I should grab that tape again. It's really good to tape your stencils down so that you don't move them when you're putting the paint on, because that makes it a little smudgy. Right, the tape is in place. The stencil is exactly where I want it to be. So here we go with my beautiful Lumiere. Even the name of it sounds opulent. When you're putting stencils on like this, you don't want to be going backwards and forwards. You really want to try and just do one swipe over it, or two. If something gets stuck like that, you go back the other way. But the least amount of times it takes to put the paint on the stencil is actually better, because then you've got less chance of smudging it or the paint getting stuck under the stencil. Oh man, that is so annoying. Yes, I've done that a few times. Right down to the tip. I'm loving that tip. It's going to look amazing sitting on that beautiful deep purple. Righto, I'm just giving it a light scrape over to take the excess paint off. Fixed up that little bit that was sticking up there. And we should be ready to go. Ready? Are you ready? Ta-da! Ta-da! Yes, it's going to look amazing. Right, stencil off. We'll let that dry, and then I'll show you once it's dry how beautiful both these paintings are going to look. The tacky, when dry, is now completely dry because it's so entirely invisibly clear. When it's wet, it's white. When it's dry, it's clear. It's looking beautiful. The shapes look great. So now I get to pull out the fabulous transfer foils and put it on the beautiful canvas. Now I decided on the copper. I think the warm, rich tone of the copper is going to look absolutely beautiful. It's an easy process. You just put it over where you put the paste, and you're supposed to just give it a rub. I have found that using a rolled up dishcloth, like a wad of material, is much easier for a bigger expanse of a shape. So I'm using that to rub it on and transfer the beautiful color. So when I pulled it off, ta-da, ta-da, nothing. What do you mean nothing? It can't not transfer, it's transfer foil. Oh man. So I'm thinking that I've only used this product before on paper, and you can rub really hard on a table with paper. So maybe I need to be rubbing firmer. So I decided to get out some books and put it under the canvas so that I've got a harder surface, because I didn't want to push too hard on the canvas because I didn't want to bend it. And I'm thinking that was rather a good idea. I've got the books under the canvas. I'm rubbing a little more firmer now. And I'm expecting great things. Are you ready? Are you ready? Ta-da, ta-da! Oh, man. Not again. Yes, it's really not working very well. I don't think it's too tacky. Tacky when dry is not tacky enough, because some of it transferred, but not a great amount, and definitely not as much as I wanted. It's not looking the glorious metallic beautiful copper tone that I was expecting. It transferred a little bit, but not enough. So I put the stencil back in its place, exactly back in the same place, pulled out some beautiful copper paint and decided to paint the shapes in, because we can't leave it like that. You just have to make sure you get your stencil back in exactly the same place. Try not to move it too much. It's going to get a little smudgy. Meh. It'll be all right. Push on, I say, just push on. So it's painted with the copper. Ta-da, ta-da. How does it look? Much better. It does look much better, absolutely. But it's also revealing to me the next problem. It's getting lost in the background. The color is beautiful. I'm loving the copper. It even has a beautiful metallic shine. But against my fabulous first time ever swipe technique background, oh man, the shapes are getting lost. It's really not working. But I'll tell you a little secret. I have a superpower, and my superpower is persistence. You just can't give up. You can't give up on your ideas or your painting. We've come too far. It's looking beautiful. We just have to solve this little dilemma. How are we going to make the shapes pop out from the background when the background is so patterned and really very beautiful? So I'm thinking, we need Diox Purple. That is a rich, deep, beautiful color. That surely is going to help. So again, I'm putting the stencil exactly back in the same place. Now, of course, you can't do all of these layers unless the first layer is dry. I've just cut out all the drying time because that's a little boring. All these layers are dry before I do the next brilliant idea. So stencil is back in place and I'm putting the beautiful purple color on. Yes, it's fantastic. It looks rich and deep and luxurious, and it's now standing out from the background, and that's what I wanted to achieve. But where's the bling? Baby, where's the bling? We've got to have a little bit of glamour. It needs to match the beautiful background. It's Art Deco style. We have to have a little bit of iridescent bronze fine. So I painted the tips of the shapes with the beautiful iridescent bronze fine. Now it looks glamorous, it looks gorgeous. The shapes match the particular style of painting absolutely beautifully. What do you think? Isn't it fabulous? It's very Art Deco in its pattern and shapes and color, and now I'm absolutely loving it. Great solution, but what a journey. And this is a creative process. I love it and hate it at the same time. Of course, you want your first idea to work out exactly perfectly, but in all reality, when does that really happen? Well, not for me anyway. There's always a journey, the next idea, maybe something else will work better. So if you're struggling with some of your art ideas, don't give up, don't despair. You need to embrace the superpower of persistence. Keep pushing on, wait for each layer to dry, find the next idea, because you will eventually get to something absolutely beautiful that you love and adore. Right, so what about the next painting? So the bronze color on the feather is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I mixed it. It's a gorgeous color, but same problem. It's getting lost in the beautiful pattern of the background, and we can't have that. So yes, I pulled out the beautiful Diox Purple again. Today's painting is brought to you by Purple. I put the stencil back in place, painted the purple on the feather. It looks beautiful. I did smudge off some of the paint so it wasn't a thick, heavy, clunky coat of purple because I wanted it to have more of a variegated tone to it because I thought it would suit the background. It looks beautiful. I'm loving it. I'm looking at it going, the purple feather looks fabulous. It's standing out from the background. But same thing, where's the bling? Where's the glamour? We're all about glamour today with our Art Deco style and royal purple. So I pulled out the Mixed and Relief. Now this particular Mixed and Relief brand I really like better than the Tacky When Dry. I've just found it to be more successful. So I put it on the beautiful feather. I highlighted around some areas. Of course I was just going to pick out a few areas, but I covered mostly the whole thing because it was really fun drawing around the shapes. It's not hard because this Mixed and Relief has a fabulous tiny little nozzle. Works really well. It has to dry completely, and again it will go entirely clear once it's dried. I left it overnight because I'm not good for waiting, so I find if I do it late at night and leave it till the next day, I know that at least it's dried. So I pulled out the gold sheets. These ones I really like. The mirror effect sheets I really like. They're really soft. They've worked every time. They haven't stood me up in the end. Beautiful color, gold, opulence. What can I say? Put it on my feather, gave it a good rub in a few places, put a few different sheets of it on, covered the beautiful feather in the gold. And ta-da, ta-da, doesn't it look beautiful? I absolutely love it. Look at the shine on the feather. It's looking absolutely glamorous, and today we're doing glamorous. I love this background texture. I love the way the colors are flowing down. I love the copper. This is the Atelier brand of the pouring medium, and it seems to have a really nice shine to it. It has a few little scratchy bits in it, but meh, it's a work of art. We don't have perfection around here. We have beautiful opulence. Loving the feather with the gold highlights. I think it's really done the trick to achieve something absolutely beautiful. So if you take away one point from today's video, grab a hold of the superpower of persistence. Don't give up on your creative masterpieces. Keep trying different ideas. Let each layer dry and then paint over it and try another idea. What a finish. I'm so happy with both of these paintings. They look absolutely gorgeous. Now for my next experiment, I think I might try mixing the pouring mediums and see what that does. So come back and join me next time and see what beautiful paintings we're creating.